Hi guys, it's been a while. So today is it's December 28th. So almost the end of the new year, around 7. Right now I'm sewing a button for my mom onto this pillow that she got. Yeah, it's been a long time since I filmed my last update, my video diary. And the main reason behind that is because, well, I've been so busy with college, and not even just the social aspect, but also the academic aspect of college, which I didn't expect so much, because I feel like going into it, everyone was like, you're gonna have so much free time, you're not gonna know what to do with the free time. I figured I joined a lot of clubs because of that, and it just took up all of my time, and I've just been so busy and frankly happy. um I don't know if you guys watch this so you can also wallow in your sadness alongside me, but yeah, if you're sad right now, I was sad and then I went to college, so just go to college. I don't know. I started college and it was nothing like I expected. I went through the motions of, getting ready, starting college, not really expecting a lot, just thinking that I would mostly like keep my head down, make sure that I was able to transfer, not really thinking much of what I wanted from my freshman experience. And I was very, very pleasantly surprised. I've had so much fun this last semester. I've met so many cool people. I've met many of my like very good friends now. And I think I thought the issue was the fact that I had to go to school, and that's why I was so unhappy and just like not excited for life. And that is just not the case. Like, ever since I've been to college, it's been so much just fun. Like, I don't even know how else to say it, but it's just been so fun. And I think, honestly, I could not see it then, but now I can really see, like, the path that I was on was really for the best, because there couldn't have been a better school to be at for the freshman quote unquote experience. So I'm at a really good place right now in terms of like struggling with anxiety and struggling with I wouldn't go so far to say depression, but just like this dwelling dwelling in my sadness, and just like learning to love where I'm at. And that's been really powerful for me. And honestly, I didn't believe it when other people were like, it gets so much better, like this is just a blip in your life, like honestly you come out the other side better for it. But if you're one of those people, like, I can truly tell you, it does get better. It's so hard to see, it's truly so hard to see, but it does get so much better, and you learn a lot from it. And I think a lot of the experiences I've had this year have really opened me up to that. I think one of those major experiences that was really, really indicative to me as to as to everything is gonna be okay and you're not gonna die, is the fact that I spent so much time alone in China, and I got to do anything I wanted, anytime I wanted, but and like have that freedom. But also it meant like I had to do a lot of things by myself, for the first time. It was essentially like living alone for the first time. And in that time, I was really, really sad because, like, I had to spend a lot of time alone with myself. And that's always hard. I don't know if any people relate to that, but whenever I have to spend time alone with myself, it gets really hard. And I was like planning my own like trip and like figuring out what I wanted to do for myself and not for anyone else. And I was thinking a lot. I spent a lot of time like quiet. I feel like for that month I didn't make a lot of sound, which is, I think, the best part of it. Like, I didn't really have to talk to anyone. In China, it's very technology based, so everything, you would order food on your phone. I wasn't really like meeting people my age and like having to have conversation with them. So I really just spent a lot of that time very quiet. And honestly, I would love to do that again. I think it's one of my goals to take another solo trip and spend more time quiet and not speaking. But I just finished. There it is. Yeah, but that was really crazy to think that like I spent all that time alone, and then flip the switch, you go to college and you have a roommate, and she's always in the room, and like you're always surrounded by people. I think there was like a 2-week period where I like was not alone ever, never ever was alone, and I really enjoyed having both sides of that. Of course, everything in moderation. Like, you want time alone and to reflect, and you also want time with your friends and to have fun. But to have both extremes really taught me a lot about myself this year. And then to have that like freedom made me more assured for the future, in a more basic sense, where I'm gonna be okay if I have to be alone, and I'm gonna be okay if I have to be with people. I met a lot of people that I really liked that I did not expect, and one of the sadder points I feel like about my freshman experience, is knowing that I have to leave all of these people in the next like 3 months. And I'm very appreciative of every experience that I've had so far, but I sometimes remember the stuff I did, because I went a little crazy. Don't tell my parents, but I went a little crazy, and of course I learned a lot from it, like knowing when to stop and knowing what my limits are. But sometimes I get flashbacks of it, and it just like makes me like which is all good and great. I feel like that's something I just have to live past. But I'm really gonna miss that first rush of like, oh, you have to go out and you have to meet all these people, and I got to meet so many people and like learn about so many like different lives. And like, because I go to a state school, it was so funny seeing how everyone like knew each other, because we all roughly come from the same area, and if we don't come from the same area, like we know someone who like is connected to someone else somehow. And of course, being Asian, everyone kind of knows each other anyway. But yeah, I got several things ticked off of the list in my head of like stuff I need to do. Okay, maybe not so much like stuff I need to do, but like, you know, big moments like graduating high school. I got my seconds, and then I got 2 helix piercings. I got to ride on a guy's motorcycle. And then I also got my first kiss, which is crazy, but also a story for another time, because I learned a lot from that experience as well. It was okay. Like, it wasn't anything magical or like life-changing. And I think that showed me that, like, I really don't aspire to have a, like, romantic interest. And I think a lot of it's shadowed by the friendships that I've made, and just like the happiness that I felt from my platonic relationships, and how literally nothing will compare to me and my best friends hanging out. Because maybe it's like an age thing, but truly some of these guys are just like not on the level, like, emotionally, that a lot of me and my friends are. And that's okay, and that's not something I'm particularly looking forward to or looking for, I guess, is a better way to say it. But yeah, I also learned that a lot of my misery and my social anxiety, you could say, um is like, in comparison. I can just, like, I'm always comparing myself to other people. So when I felt like, oh, I saw these people on social media with, like, a huge friend group and it looks so fun, and like, well, like, comparing myself, like, why didn't I have that? And also that a lot of the failed friendships that I've had, like, I can take the blame for, because I had, like, now I have been on the other side of it, where it's like you're trying to connect with someone who's blocked off, who's hard to communicate to, and it's really deterring for the other person. And now that I can see that in another person, I can definitely see that in my past self, where I was probably really blocked off and, like, very, very protective of my emotions and my ego, and being able to remove myself from that, though I haven't perfected it by any means. But you know, realizing is the first step, right? And I have greatly taken measures to be able to support my friends and allow them to reach out. And I've prioritized fostering relationships in, like, a way that's obvious to the other person. I feel like what I lacked was that communication and that, like, genuineness to get to know someone else, and to make sure that I'm setting aside time for that person. And that's gonna be my resolution moving on. I think a lot of it was rooted in this almost like fear, or like, I don't know how to explain it. I feel like when I was growing up, my mom put a lot of emphasis on where you're spending your time. If you're spending your time studying, you're bettering yourself. If you're spending your time resting or taking care of yourself, more so focused on, like, why are you spending so much time on your phone? But I think that commodified time in a way that wasn't really true or beneficial to me. And for a lot of my life growing up, I feel like I've been friends with people who are available, people who are, like, easy. They're in my classes, I'm with them at dance all day. They're easy to be friends with, they're convenient to be friends with. And now that I'm growing up, and now that making friends isn't as convenient, I am trying to make sure that I put in the effort that my relationships deserve. And with that comes a whole myriad of things, where I'm, like, realizing my past traumas, and, like, being able to grow from them, and, like, transitioning into an adult. And honestly, my outlook is hopeful. And I love my friends, and I'm learning to like the person I'm becoming. So, Happy New Year to everyone, and I'll see you next year.